hold on one second. Let me readjust the volume setting. That should be fine, right? Good morning to you, Mr. Naruhodo. Good morning, Professor. Ready for today's proceedings? I hope so. I should be. Even I with nothing left to... Good morning, my dear fellows. You can mirror each other's poses. Oh, Mr. Sholmes, you're here. Why, naturally. A true gentleman stands shoulder to shoulder with his friends in battle at all times. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I'll, see you later, then. Now, Professor, we really need you to remain calm in the court today. Yes. Do try your hardest not to enter the witness stand uninvited again. Yes, I will. I realize it was a mistake, but wait. Sholmes. My dear fellows, I must interject. You look serious. You're still here? What's the matter? Surely you've overlooked some praise, have you not? To be cast in my direction, Sorry, I don't follow. Must I spell it out? I, the great Herlock Sholmes, the greatest detective of worldwide acclaim. I rose at some ungodly hour to be here now. First thing in the morning. A miracle, you must agree. Well, if I must agree then. I mean, if you're a night owl, getting up early is a hassle. As you know, my sleep is quite impregnable. Iris had to employ her full gamut of tactics. She pulled the covers, shook me, poked both cheeks, punched me, kicked me from the bed, plugged my nose so I couldn't breathe. Then she poured a boiling cup. Oh, Jesus Christ! How hot? Okay, actual boiling, so first degree burns? Oh my, Iris has been busy. Iris doesn't have it in her to go that far. She's too nice. I sense the spirit of a fellow scientist, one who relishes the infinite possibilities of blending tea. I'm the one worthy of praise here, not Iris. This is my victory. Hello? Oh. Inspector Gregson. Good morning. Gregson, my dear fellow, why the grim expression at this delightfully early hour? Oh, I don't know. Maybe because I've been confronted with a grim expression, Dear me, how are you going to take that insult to lying down, Professor? What? I don't know! I don't know either. Anyway, here's the paperwork you asked for. What paperwork? I took the liberty of requesting it yesterday. I had a feeling it may prove useful. Can I see it? You wouldn't believe the hoops I had to jump through to get this brought out of the archives. It's a professor's autopsy report. That mass murderers? Who killed 5 members of the aristocracy. Excuse me. He was found guilty in a closed trial 10 years ago now. It was all done under wraps. And he was quickly executed soon after the trial. It's all in there. What if he's still alive? Or is that the implication? Blank. Redact for confidentiality. The professor. Ow! That's pretty vague. Yes, much obliged, Gregson. Us lonely lot at the yard are just doing what we can. In the shadow of the great detective Sholmes, of course. Bye. Well then, Professor Hairbrain, this is it. Today we're gonna lay all of this to rest. I wish you the best of luck, Professor. I suppose he'll be in there today, will he? Dreba. Yes, we expect the prosecution to summon him as a witness. Please don't jump over the witness stand and kill him. I'm still amazed that you managed to find him in just one day. Oh really? Oh, you both so much. The trial's about to resume. Try to make her in the courtroom. This is it then. The final chapter. Funny, my heart's racing a little. I've not felt this before, actually. This strange foreboding. As if something's going to happen in this trial that I'm not ready for. As in a bomb? Like in Dual Destinies? But I really can't let that distract from the only thing that really matters. Finding the truth. Excuse me. Magic Man!
In the name of the arrested, the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session again. We resume the public hearing of Upper's Hambrain, here present who stands accused of murder. Are the counsels for the prosecution and the defense ready?
Oh yeah, I forgot. Van Zeeks' apprentice over there, supposedly he's actually Kazuma, who, according to Van Zeeks, lost his memory. Prosecutors live ready, my lord. The defense is ready, my lord. As promised, Lord Van Zeeks has his apprentice with him. His apprentice with memory loss.
For me, Lord Van Zeeks.
Yes, my lord.
There appears to be someone standing at your side there.
Ah, yes. My apprentice and assistant. Is he gonna mimic everything Van Zeeks does, like throwing the wine glass and throwing his foot on the counter? Prosecution believes today's proceedings will see the complexity of this case rise considerably. It is? Okay. Okay, so he does... Okay, so yes! Most likely definitely Kazuma. I therefore instructed my assistants to attend to ensure the smooth running of the trial. And the smooth running of liquid refreshments by the look of it. Also, how are you gonna close that wine bottle again? He destroyed the cork. The way he holds himself, the way he moves. It couldn't be anyone else. But he's still suffering from amnesia. So there's really nothing we can do at the moment. I know, but this is so very hard.
It would appear the prosecution has done a fine job of responding to the demands of the courtroom yesterday. I understand you have successfully secured the engineer who disappeared from the scene on the day in question.
Yes, my lord. Sorry. Yes, my lord. I intend to call him as a witness shortly.
Very good, very good. Now then, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, who have been chosen at random to represent the will of the people in this courtroom today, are you ready and willing to proceed?
I don't remember the voices I gave these guys.
Of course, my lord. I'm sure we all understand the importance of doing our civic duty.
I do so despise deception and deceit, which is happening to your left-hand side by Magic Man. To take a man's life with a conjuring trick. It is against the magician's code, not to mention the law.
Pretty excited to feel the wrath of God, if you ask me.
We have to listen to what he said. What's it on both sides on the fair? And stand on one. That's it, ain't it?
Wasn't like this back in my day. Wasn't like this at all. Wake up, Grandpa! It's the future.
If all parties are ready to proceed, you may begin, Lord Van Zeeks.
Before I do, my lord, there is a report I must read to the court. Yesterday at the Great Exhibition grounds, the evidence of primary importance in this case, the super high voltage thing, which was installed on the experimentation stage, was deliberately destroyed in an explosion, affected by an unknown person or persons. It was... What? Explosion! Don't shoot anybody!
It's an outrage! Yes, I heard this grave news yesterday. Scotland Yard submitted a report to my office in the evening. I read that the machine was blasted to smithereens and the records reduced to ashes in the flames.
I have here a photographic print of the scene, taken in the wake of the explosion. Thank you! Oh yeah, there's a trapdoor. It shows what little remains of the machine.
Yes, a terrible business.
He did it to destroy the evidence, did he? That Enoch Drebber.
The court will take this print as evidence, counsel.
Sorry, quick, let me readjust some things. Late yesterday afternoon, the protection afforded to the machine by the Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act was revoked. Wait, how were the security guards there? Because when it exploded, there were some Scotland Yard guys there. Are they okay? However, before a thorough investigation could begin, the invention was obliterated from existence. As such, this will become a very different trial. Huh? As it stands now, with no evidence on which to draw meaningful conclusions, the authenticity of the machine will remain forever in obscurity.
Indeed. A most unfortunate state of affairs.
However, one thing remains clear. The victim's death was the result of the actions of the accused. Of that we can be certain. For it was the accused himself who was operating the machine and who ultimately caused its loss of control.
Objection!
As Lord Van Zieks rightly says, this is a very different trial now. Wait, you're agreeing with me? The accused accepts responsibility for his part in the events that transpired. He acknowledges that Mr. Assman, Odious Man, or Odie Assman, died as a result of the accident, caused by his machine's malfunction. However, unbeknownst to the professor, he was being deliberately deceived by a pair of very clever fraudsters.
Names, counsel, if you please.
The engineer, Mr. Enoch Drebber, and the victim himself, Mr. Odie Buttman. So what exactly were these two men up to behind the defendant's back? The defense intends to expose that information, thus establishing the unequivocal innocence of the defendant. I almost stumbled on that. Though I kinda did.
Thank you, counsel. The position of the prosecution defense has been clearly stated. Lord Van Zieks, summon your first witness, please.
Enoch? Oh, Enoch Drebber? At once, my lord. The prosecution calls the engineer, Mr. Enoch Drebber, to the stand. Bring in the Mr. Beep Boop Man. State your name and occupation for the court. Name, Enoch Drebber. Occupation. Hard to pin down, I would say. Beep bop beep boop. See that black monocle? Yes, why do I feel as though I've seen it somewhere before? Oh, you too? I had exactly the same feeling myself. Were they all whispering, or was that a glitch?
The filing the case that you are currently being investigated in connection with another case. The theft of a waxwork model, is it? A most extraordinary sounding business.
But that has no bearing on this trial, I assure you. Cleave it from your mind. You're familiar with the public experiment carried out at the Great Exhibition some days ago. The accused super high voltage thing demonstration. Yes, you could say that. I am aware of it. There was a terrible accident, wasn't there? It was you, Mr. Drebber, who constructed the vast machine used in the experiment. Or so our investigations indicate. Can you confirm your involvement? Yes, I constructed it. In precise accordance with the blueprints, but that is all. Then the court would be very interested to hear your thoughts about the machine, I'm sure. Beep bop beep boop! I feel like this guy is the Ace Attorney equivalent of the phrase, "It's electric boogie woogie woogie." An amazing device, if you ask me. The pinnacle of modern science, making instantaneous kinesis a reality at last. Huh?
Good gracious! Do you mean to say that the experiment was bona fide? Is that your belief, sir?
Yes, that is very much my belief. Such a waste that it blew up. Stop spewing bullshit! We've already established the machine was nothing more than a prop for an elaborate conjuring trick.
Objection!
Hey, where'd he go? Oh, there he is. I was about to say, where did the apprentice go? But he blended in with the background. Also, water break. You've established nothing of the sort. All that was shown during yesterday's proceedings is that the same outcome could have been produced by means of stage trickery. The defense merely proposed a method and demonstrated its feasibility, nothing more.
You've procrastinated long enough, I feel. Witness, you will now give your formal testimony about the machine that you constructed for the purpose of the demonstration of the Great Exhibition.
Understood. So I'm just watching his hand, like, tick, tock, tick, tock. I met the young professor approximately 1 year ago through Mr. Cake Man's introduction. He provided me with a blueprint and I constructed the machine to his precise specifications. It was no trick. If the whole show was a fraud, it would have required a body double. Tell me, did the victim have a twin? All the spectators saw the birdcage appear above their heads and then crash headfirst into the crystal tower. A terrible accident, I grant you. Perhaps the science on which the machine was built was flawed somehow. You're the one who... Oh, right, I had to deconstruct the testimony. Body double. That goes without saying, surely. To give the impression that something has moved when in reality it hasn't. It's a basic conjuring principle. The deception cannot be achieved without substituting the original with the fake at some point in the performance. But would I be right in saying you haven't managed to establish anything along those lines? Incidentally, the prosecution has already confirmed that Mr. Asman, or Bum Man, had no twin siblings. Should twin siblings be plural? Because if it would be twins, it would be just one and the other guy. So no twin sibling. If you want to say triplets, it would be triplet siblings, or just triplets, or quadruplets.
It's my understanding that this witness is well versed in conjuring arts from this. But such talents do not indicate that he was able to accomplish what he claims. Namely, the construction of what by all accounts must have been an extremely complex scientific machine.
Whatever do you mean?
Yesterday's proceedings brought the true nature of your past exploits to light, Mr. Drebber.
Indeed it did. As a swindler who preys on innocent scientists to elicit government grant money through conjuring know-how. Yes, it's true that I possess considerable knowledge of stage magic. But crucially, my scientific knowledge more than matches that of any academic in the field. Investigation of the witness's workshop attests to that claim. As evidence, the police found the Royal Society trophy for young talent in science there. Yes, that's true. We spotted it there ourselves. If a hypothesis is sound, it can always be forged into a physical manifestation with sufficient skill. Emphasis on forged, like forgery. Though I may have sold the secrets of some deceptive wiles to sniveling, talentless scientists in the past. Hairbrain in the background yelling, "Hey!"
Would you therefore assert that the explosion in the machine was
an unfortunate accident, or, of course, a deliberate act of murder carried out by misuse of the science?
Counsel for the defense. The cross-examination, please.
Can I have that trophy for evidence? Yes, my lord. Wait, do I already have the trophy? Okay, I do. Is there anything here I'm missing? Ooh! Oh, it's one of those cameras. What a wonderful machine. You really love contraptions like this, don't you? She would love Rube Goldberg machines. Oh yes, anything mechanical I find absolutely irresistible. Almost irresistible, surely. Well, whenever I see a pocket watch, for example, I can't help myself. I simply have to take it apart. I wonder what her reaction was seeing Enoch Drebber's arm. That's worrying. Yes, Father tells the time by the rumblings of his stomach now. He's given. Oh my god.
Shizato, have you seen my watch?
Oops. Poor Professor Mikotoma. Ooh. Yes, now, there should be a glass plate inside. You have to change the plate with each new photograph you want to take, you see. Is something wrong? There's no plate. It's been removed. Oh, I thought the white panel was the glass plate. Oh, what a pity. But I suppose if we think about it, this wouldn't be the actual camera that was used at the time. Just like the waxwork, it's the actual person. So we never found a photograph. So we'd never have found a photographic print of the executed convict coming back to life anyway. Yes, you're quite right, of course. Poor Shizato-san, she looks devastated. I want to see a picture of a corpse! Whoa, 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 whoa. Is that blood I see? Look, Mr. Naruhodo. What is it? On the bellows just here. There seem to be some very dark red stains. Yeah, you're right. Looks like blood, actually. Oh my. I'm sure it's not what you're thinking. So you were already acquainted with Mr. Spankman? I can't think of other words for butt or ass. Not really. By chance, I'd seen his name mentioned in the papers, that's all. But I had no interest in his private affairs. If he was an unscrupulous investor, it was no concern of mine. As long as people pay their bills, I take up my tools and construct what they ask for. So why did Mr. Gluteus Maximus man approach you in particular then? Who can say? I presume because my name is associated with excellence in engineering. Not to mention excellence in fraud. Eat shit. Hard to gauge, but the point is, all I did was construct the machine according to the blueprints I was given. In other words, the kinesis machine was built on solid scientific principles. Yes, you might say that. Professor Harebrained certainly has a mind like no other. Harebrained yells out, "You damn right I do!" Hold it! It's clear that you have both scientific knowledge and knowledge of conjuring magic, however. The more knowledge you have, the better equipped you are to handle whatever comes along. But your implication is that I furnished the machine with some trickery, I think. It's a possibility that we have to explore. Unfortunately, though, the machine has been blown to Kingdom Come. Gee, I wonder who did that! So there's really nothing left to explore, is there? It appears that the kinesis machine was fitted with a timed explosive device of some kind. And there's nothing left of that device either. Not a single shred of evidence remaining, I hear. Well, we have a photo, so I think that counts. We must have planned all this from the outset. But in any case, it's abundantly clear that the experiment couldn't have been a trick. Throat, sorry. course, that's it. Mr. Booty Man was a twin.
Objection!
Perhaps my learned friend wasn't listening earlier. Mr. Cheeks Man had no twin siblings. I've never seen that before, like where he's leaning forward but then just draws back. No, I heard you before, but the thread of hope hadn't quite left me. The demonstration could have been a trick if there was somebody who looked sufficiently like the victim. Do we have anyone like that? But Dr. Scythe absolutely ruled that possibility. Dr. Scythe absolutely ruled that out as a possibility. I can't read today! It is beyond question that the victim himself, Mr. Round Man, did move from the stage to the Crystal Tower. The fingerprints found at the scene attest to the fact. So it can't have been orchestrated using someone who looked identical to him then. Ah, bollocks! What are you thinking, Mr. Naruhodo? No, nothing. Just that the idea of someone who looked identical to the victim is playing on my mind. The waxwork model, maybe? Crashed head first, you say? According to the many witness reports from those there at the time, yes. Were you not there at the exhibition grounds on the day? Unlikely. I rarely leave my workshop. Yet another of your unique inventions was found at the scene. That is not mine. Well, it was the unveiling of a machine I'd labored over for many months. I saw it clearly with my own eyes, the birdcage plummeting head first into the tower. What a surprise. I believe the victim's neck was broken from the headlong fall, wasn't it? How would you have come by that information? Newspapers? Called it. Even an infernal recluse like me reads the newspapers, you know. I am an otaku. Or a neat. According to the reports, 2 injuries were apparent on the victim's body. This shit again? Was the question which one killed him first? Also that glass. Yes, he'd been stabbed in the chest by a screwdriver, believed to be the defendant's. And he had broken vertebrae as a result from a fall from a considerable height. Correct. My learned friend has been doing his research, it seems. I have! It's in the court record, dumbass! Do we know which injury was the fatal one? Sadly not. Forensic science is not yet at a level where such things can be determined. What we do know is that the victim died having sustained both injuries at some point during the experiment. And since he was found in the birdcage with his neck broken, it's obvious that he fell from a considerable height. I suppose that's hard to deny.
Hold it!
So you understood the science, did you? Not in the slightest. Right. As I've said a number of times, I'm an engineer. My job is to manufacture according to the blueprints I am given. I would be inviting manifold problems if I foolishly allowed my mind to digest the ideas behind them. Wouldn't you still need to know how it works, though? So you can figure out what, like granted, I guess that'll be the designer's slash hairbrain's job, but what if while you're working on it, you notice something was off? I could be accused of stealing those ideas, for example. But how? How is it possible to construct a machine without really understanding the principles? Well, you're practicing law without really understanding the principles it relies on, aren't you? Hey! Very good point. Stand up for yourself, Mr. Naruhodo. The point is, the experiment results in an instantaneous kinesis taking place. As such, the science must be sound. Yes, and really, experimental results are all that matters when it comes to proving a hypothesis. He's certainly very sure of himself. What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo? Well, now that the machine's been destroyed by yesterday's explosion, it's gonna be impossible to argue its authenticity one way or the other. But if we're unable to establish that it was a piece of stage trickery... Wait, can't I? That giant hole in the ground! We'll have no grounds on which to demonstrate Professor Hairbrain's innocence. Both Mr. Thickman and this man in the stand tricked the professor and used him. They took advantage of his naivete and his unbending belief in his work, and I won't let them get away with it. And seeing as the professor is an old friend of Lord Van Zeek's, what on earth must he be feeling towards Trevor?
I will kill him once this trial is over.
I think I know what to present, but I don't know where. Like, no trick, you say? What about this?
Objection!
Fuck.
Objection!
No! The music's still playing!
Objection!
Why? Okay, I'm loading because I do not like my chances. Do I just press had to press everything again?
Hold it! Objection!
Fuck! Reconsider this indeed. Susato, help me. What were your thoughts again? What about the whole there was a body in the balloon thing? Can we use that?
Objection!
Fuck! I'm convinced this game might have the toughest cases.
Objection!
I know looking up a guide is an option, but I'm paranoid if I look one up, I'm gonna spoil myself. Okay, that didn't work. Wait, I don't think I actually analyzed this. Look here, Mrs. Sato. Oh yes, the wood's cracked and broken a little. I suppose it could have fell from such a height? Yes, from the height at which the balloon was flying, down into the crystal tower below. A fall of about 30 feet, or 9 meters. Leaving the man inside tragically dead. Damage to the base. Wait a minute! God damn! Head first, you say, eh?
Objection!
We've examined the birdcage that crashed into the crystal tower ourselves. Not pretend we did it hours ago or days ago and not just this second. As you can see, the cage, which is a wooden construction, has sustained damage in one particular spot. Following the explosion, it fell some 30 feet into the glass of the crystal tower. That level of damage is to be expected, surely. Look where the damage is! The damage itself is entirely understandable. What doesn't make sense is the location. All the breakages in the wood are at the base of the birdcage, not the top. What are you saying? Oh, he's sweating!
That's the opposite of where they should be.
That's right, my lord. The birdcage that was at the scene is damaged at its base. So we have reports of the birdcage falling headlong into the crystal tower, yet the damage is at the bottom. Unless they put the guy in upside down. The only way to reconcile these two facts is to accept that there were two bird cages in play that day, which were at some point switched. switched during what wasn't a scientific experiment at all, but an elaborate piece of stage trickery. I wonder how he's pronouncing the words that are in orange and the ones that aren't.
Good gracious, explain yourself, witness!
Whoa! Maybe I could try more humanish sounds? Well... If we examine the facts, there's only one logical conclusion we can draw. The damage on the base of the birdcage clearly indicates that it crashed tail first into the tower.
Objection!
But multiple witness reports claim it fell head first. The birdcage materialized in the sky next to a balloon flying over the stage, following a spontaneous explosion, at an altitude of some 60 feet above ground level, which is approximately 18 meters. It then proceeded to fall some 30 feet into the Crystal Tower and the ensuing deflagration. Did I pronounce that right? Witness reports amid such chaos are notoriously unreliable.
Objection!
But the victim's neck was broken.
Objection!
He plummeted 30 feet inside a heavy wooden cage. However, he felt it would be unsurprising to find one or two of his vertebrae crushed. Co. A riveting scientific analysis of events from the prosecution there. Though to be even more rigorous, you would have to say it was only one vertebrae, actually. What's this music? Oh wait, wasn't this Drebber's theme song? It wasn't quiet for long. I find it hard to see what's motivating Lord Van Zeeks. This witness is clearly a swindler and one who deceived a personal friend of his. If you're going to establish this deception, do it right. Sorry? I feel like that's the undertone here. Ah yes, and there's one more point. The defense appears to have forgotten. It obviously wasn't a trick, as a certain truth very plainly demonstrates. Huh?
Seems to me that a cross-examination had better continue until we resolve this matter. Mr. Drebber, you will amend your testimony with details of this truth.
Of course. We must treat the matter scientifically, after all. I nearly had him there. Whoa! I remember seeing this. Didn't we just state a balloon? I'm gonna press it first and see if... Because I feel like if I just brought up the balloon now, it could be failure. What do you mean? Well, before the demonstration began, the victim was... I don't think I'm gonna do the whole orange equals human thing anymore. Alive on stage in front of the audience. Yes, there are lots of witnesses who saw Mr. Booty rocking everywhere, man, on the experimentation stage, that's true. And the victim's neck broke as a result of an impact following a fall. Logically, therefore, the victim must have fallen from somewhere. The balloon that exploded was at an altitude of 60 feet. The point of impact on the tower was 30 feet up. That difference of 30 feet is therefore the total distance the birdcage fell. And there is no other location from which the cage could have fallen that distance if it did not drop out of the sky. Ergo, the victim himself must have been beamed from the stage into the sky above the Crystal Tower.
The transcends scientific analysis. Dear me, every time I hear it explained, it sounds increasingly plausible.
Oh yes. It's all very well thought out. Someone play some music! Certainly all the spectators on the day saw it. The birdcage plummeting 30 feet through the air, I mean. Irritatingly, yes. Wait. Could this be where I can point out the whole drop, like, that secret hole? Because the distance from up here to down here could be 30 feet. I mean, we had to take stairs.
Objection!
Fuck!
Objection!
Okay. I guess I went a little too far. Like, maybe I had the right idea, but I sort of skipped I went from step 1 to step 5. This is a diagram of the experimentation stage and its surroundings. We know that somehow the birdcage appeared in midair before falling down into the crystal tower. A fall of about 30 feet, or 9 meters. However, if you examine the diagram carefully, you'll see that there's one other possible location from which the birdcage could have fallen. The same distance of 30 feet. No. Caesar!
Well, the person defense has a possible explanation put forward. Go ahead, counsel.
Yes, my lord. Of course.
We'll indicate the place to which you are referring on this same diagram. The alternative location from which the birdcage could have fallen.
It has to be here, right? Well, let me save.
Take that!
The place I'm referring to is here.
But that's where the birdcage would have been to begin with.
Which is exactly the point, my lord. Yes, the birdcage was in the machine on the stage. But what we must also consider is the height of the stage itself.
Go on.
It turns out the experimentation stage was built at a considerable height above ground level. If you look at the diagram, in fact, you'll see it's about the same height above the ground as the balloon above the crash site. When the experiment got underway, the machine and the birdcage were engulfed in steam. At that moment, the floor of the stage gave way, and if we assume that there to be a void underneath, we have photographic evidence of this! This birdcage and the one seen by the audience would have fallen almost exactly the same distance. Once again, my lord, this all points to the fact that there was not one birdcage, but two!
Objection!
My learned friend has no evidence that the stage has such a contrivance in its design. You gave me the photo! Someone's responsible for the criminal destruction of the kinesis machine itself. It's true. However, the stage still stands. And take a moment to look at the photographic print of the scene following yesterday's explosion. The one you gave me!
Good lord, the metal grill that formed the floor is undone!
Yes, most likely blown open by the force of the explosion that destroyed the rest of the machine. The defense calls for the space below the stage to be investigated. Immediately! Mr. Drebber. It was you who built the kinesis machine. Which means that it's you who built the two bird cages that were used to carry out this deception. Whether Professor Hairbrain's hypothesis is sound or not makes no difference. Because it's the construction of this machine that matters. A machine designed to take Mr. Buttman's life by you! And lay the blame firmly at the professor's door. Something that could only have been carried out by you, Mr. Enoch Drebber. Whoa! Whoa! Wow! Whoa, that's new.
Objection!
You're gonna pick up that cork again, right? If my learned friend has reached the end of his wild assertions. Glass number 1, here we go. The prosecution would like to crush the defense's argument slowly, but surely. Your argument fails to hold water. On 2 counts. 2? Firstly, before and after the experiment, this witness went nowhere near the kinesis machine. Every relevant member of staff from the exhibition has attested to that.
And I believe members of Scotland Yard have also been on watch duty at every public experiment.
In other words, Mr. Drebber had no opportunity to switch the alleged pair of bird cages.
Objection!
I've already explained why he wouldn't have needed to. The nonsense with the crossbow. That doesn't bolster your case at all. The man who disappeared from the stage and the man who crashed into the tower are one and the same. The forensic investigation team's report is unequivocal on that point. And the second flaw in your assertion is a distinct lack of motive. Why would this man have wanted to take the victim's life? He had no reason to do so. Motive? Do I have to think of everything myself? Sorry, Ryunosuke. An Ace Attorney. This is Ace Attorney. You have to do all the things. You have to. I have here a contract provided by the witness.
What contract is this, Lord Van Zeeks?
Gimme. Contract into which Mr. Drebber entered with the victim. Mr. My anaconda don't want none unless you got buns, man. It reads, Mr. Drebber is to receive 30% of all remunerations? Okay, that's a remunerations from government grants or other income.
30%? Certainly very favorable contractual conditions.
But there was one very important provision bolted onto that clause. What provision? Was it added via crayon? Mr. Drebber may only uphold this right on condition that both contracting parties are alive. In other words, if either of us were to die, the contract would become null and void. So you see, I had nothing to gain from Mr. Yes! Man's death. The diametric opposite, in fact. Ugh. Need I say more? The witness had neither an opportunity nor a reason to commit the alleged crime. In short, the possibility of Mr. Drebber having done as you suggest is nil. Ugh. Stop your dance!
Received the defensive assertion was somewhat wide of the mark. Lord Van Zeeks, you will submit the contract as evidence, please.
Please do. There has to be some fine print. That or maybe there's something on the back of the paper. The investor hereby enters into contract provider to fund labor and materials for construction of a survival data machine. Receive 30%. Only uphold this right on condition that both parties are alive. Also, dang, Asman's got really... These guys have really nice handwriting. So now I'm wondering if there's gonna be this whole, one of them forged their signature. Man, I was hoping this would become one of those 3D investigations I can flip and turn around so I can examine the back of the paper. Drebber had no opportunity to switch the bird cage under the stage of the one in the Crystal Tower. He couldn't have done it. In any case, I have no idea what his motive might have been. There is one aspect of your argument that still holds true, however. There were 2 bird cages. The prosecution is unable to deny that. So I'm sure you're on the right lines, Mr. Naruto. And I have no doubt there are other aspects of your assertion that are undeniable truths, too.
Well, it would seem that the defense has no rejoinder to offer.
Rejoinder?
Cool.
Well, I must say I'm a little surprised. I came here to testify about the machine I built, and instead my reputation is defiled. I will sue you for defamation. But the prosecution's counter has set the record straight, I think. It's impossible that I'm the culprit.
Objection!
Wipe that smirk off your face! At the beginning of this trial, we believed that there was only 1 birdcage. Yet now we know there must have been 2. In other words, there was more to the demonstration than we realized at first. Oh shit. I think it's abundantly clear that the same applies to the culprit. Get to the point. There were 2! The stage demonstration was constructed and set up in its entirety by you, Mr. Drebber. Therefore, it's inconceivable that you had no hand in the events that transpired. You had an accomplice! And oh, he mad. So if circumstances mean it's impossible that you could have carried out the crime yourself, it points to the fact that someone else was involved.
Could someone else? Counselor, suggesting.
Hell yeah, I am. Mr. Drebber had an accomplice.
Objection!
An accomplice now? Well then, I presume. You're prepared for what's to come. Now that you're accusing not only this witness, but someone else of the most serious of crimes. If these accusations turn out to be false, then make no mistake. The prosecution will demand an equally serious punishment for your slander.
Well, Counselor, do you intend to pursue this course and inform the accused not a party of involvement in the matter?
What do I do here? At the moment, this is a little more than a hunch on my part. I don't know for sure if Drebber had an accomplice, or even if he really is the culprit here. One way or another, though, I have to make my position clear. As a lawyer. So what's my stance gonna be? Did Drebber have an accomplice? Would Odie count? Okay, I have some suspicions. Number 1 is this dude. Like, they were in cahoots. They were already in cahoots together, so it could have been like backstabbing. Or extremely far out. This lady, because if they had some sort of body double involved with the 2 bird cages, there's only one person who can make body doubles, like specifically made out of wax. The defense is ready to name Mr. Drebber's accomplice. Somehow the 2 bird cages must have been switched. Everything points to that. Yet according to the coroner's report, that's not a possibility. The coroner! But that inconsistency itself is a clue.
Counselor,
Yes?
you have received a stock warning already. You are nevertheless determined. And I must now ask you to identify this alleged accomplice by name. So, your answer, please.
Wait. Okay, so... Okay, maybe it's now like 3 suspects between this dude, this lady, and the coroner. He said it was like inconsistency in and of itself, so... maybe? Please, 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 please. The name of the person in question is... What's wrong, my... Numa, a friend. Surely fear doesn't bind your tongue now. It's a little late for that. Of course I'm afraid. After all, naming her in this capacity is definitely gonna make waves. A lot of waves. Tidal waves, in fact! I could very well turn every person in this courtroom against me. I'm sure it'll be alright, Mr. Naruhodo. Thank you. The enemy always appears larger than life. We all appear exactly the same to the enemy. Alright then. Here goes. Also, dang, I never thought about that. Like, your worst fear may look huge to you, but to your fear, you might look just as big. You've kept us waiting long enough. You're on, Sir Counsel. Now. The person who colluded with Mr. Drebber in order to carry out this wicked crime is Scotland Yard's coroner, Courtney Scythe.
What the blazes are you talking about, Dr. Scythe?
The head of the forensic team investigation. Oh, wait. That's a long sentence. And the coroner who conducted the autopsy on the victim. We know there were 2 bird cages. So who could have carried out the switch to complete the illusion? The accident happened in front of a huge crowd of spectators, and the area was immediately sealed off. Then everyone, police officers included, were banished to make way for the forensic investigation team. I keep getting the name wrong. When else could the switch have occurred? It could have only been in the team's presence. I'll take that as a yes. It's essential that the court determines exactly what happened following the incident. The defense demands that Dr. Scythe be summoned to the witness stand at once. Magic Man's weirdly stiff. And he's sleeping.
You've got a nerve, lad! Standing up there and dragging the odds name to the mud!
I didn't mean to.
Oh, I know the woman very well. There's no better dead room worker out there.
Dead room? Like the morgue?
How dare you call her a criminal?
My learned friend's imagination appears to be wilder than East End at night. But the recklessness of your accusation aside, there's another grave problem with your argument. One which the prosecution demands you address at once. Grave problem? Emphasis on grave, like the dead people Courtney Scythe works on? Oh my word. Who do you claim acted as the victim's doppelganger?
Certainly the bird cage containing the body of the victim was exchanged for another. That cage must also have contained a body.
And yet, no missing persons or accidental deaths of anyone even remotely resembling the victim have been reported. Which means there was no one, dead or alive, who could have fulfilled the role of a body double.
Oh, God!
Maybe the wax? Was there a way to determine this actually is that dude? It was the boy! My argument is that there were 2 bird cages. There must have been one person inside each. But I don't know if I've got an answer to this yet, have I?
I don't know!
I don't think anyone can fit the bill. And as far... I'm leaning towards nothing at the moment, because it's like, I would have evidence, but it kind of got exploded. At least I saved. I can't explain that at the moment. Oh, really? And when can court expect an explanation? Next year? Maybe tomorrow? Fuck. Okay. People who procrastinate lose everything in the end, Mr. Naruhodo. Isn't that slightly over the top? We can discuss that later. But for now, you ought to consider what you can do, not what you can't. Okay, I'll think again. Wait a minute. Didn't the lady say that... Okay, didn't the waxwork lady say that the head... Like, the entire... Like, the entire, wax figure she built was stolen? And when it was returned, it was missing the head? Very well. The defense will address my learned friend's concerns by presenting evidence that reveals the true nature of Mr. Blight Man's body double.
Good gracious, evidence! I do hope this isn't filibustering, counsel. The court is expecting a man. Expecting a name.
Someone get me a Dr. Seuss book so I can do the filibustering properly. If you think you have relevant evidence, present it now. The body double and the birdcage were hiding inside the balloon that was floating above the stage, which means that any witnesses would have only seen them from 60 feet away. So who was it that appeared out of the explosion? Aha! The body double inside the second birdcage was...
Take that!
We know that the victim, Mr. Yes! Man, was in the birdcage that was situated inside the kinesis machine on stage, and therefore he couldn't have been inside the second birdcage. Instead, that contained something else. What's been described as a body double, which is what fell from the sky and crashed into the crystal tower.
Yes, counsel. According to your so much elaborate version of events.
And that body double inside the second birdcage was in fact... Oh, bugger! It's alright, Mr. Naruhodo. You're ready for this. Just steel yourself, and come out with it. Thank you. I needed that. As I was saying, the body double inside the second birdcage was, as unbelievable as it may seem... How long has that been there? Was that here the whole time? That thing there. Who brought that in?
Objection!
Have you gone cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs? Open your eyes and look into mine, my...
Nico, Nico, nee!
friend. Now tell me, what are you playing at? I thought it was like, now tell me, what the fuck are you smoking? Stand firm now, Ryunosuke. This is the time to show your Japanese spirit. As the court will observe, this is a waxwork model. A model, in fact, of an infamous London murderer from 10 years ago. The Professor.
Objection!
You started by indicting the leader of the forensic team as an accomplice in this crime. And now you've moved on to indicting Waxworks? Yes! I mean, yes, that's about the size of it. But why? And why this one? It looks nothing like the victim. In fact, it could hardly resemble him less. What possible justification can you give? If you want to know why, ask Mr. Drebber. Yeah, you had his head! What? Just days before Professor Harebrain performed his public demonstration, Mr. Drebber abducted this model from Madame Tussbell's.
Did you say abducted?
And 2 days after the incident at the Great Exhibition, he returned it to the museum. The timing.
Is this true, Mr. Drebber?
At first, I couldn't see why Mr. Drebber would have stolen the waxwork and then given it back again, without the head! But now the reason is clear. He took it so that he could put it inside the second birdcage, as a body double for Mr. Assman. Gah.
Objection!
Are you hearing this, ladies and gentlemen of the jury? Are you hearing the defense's astonishing proposal? What are you smoking, Ryunosuke? Would you care to share? That the witness fabricated this vast machine with the intention of deceiving some wretched scientist. That he did so in collision with the country's finest coroner on a public stage in front of a vast audience. It's so crazy it just might work. And not to effect the deception, he used a waxwork model that in no way resembles the victim. Are we really to believe this far-fetched tale? What do you decide?
Objection!
Wait. Yeah, if you put it like that, it's gonna sound implausible. Who?
Are you to speak of your place?
Go ahead, Mr. Foreman.
Myself and my colleagues have reached an agreement.
Oh no.
Very good. In that case, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will state your leanings for the court to hear now.
Guilty!
Guilty! Guilty!
Guilty!
Guilty!
Whoa.
Guilty!
She is a 5-year-old. Oh, bugger.
So, as indicated by the foreman, the jury has reached a consensus.
I knew that was gonna happen. We shall get through this, Mr. Naruhodo, as we always do. And uncover some new truths along the way, I'm quite sure. Yes, I agree. I'm gonna have to appeal to the jurors as usual, and see if I can persuade them to change their minds.
The defense will now embark on a summation examination. Are you and your fellows ready to proceed, Mr. Foreman?
We are, my lord.
Very well. In that case, I ask you now to state clearly for all present to hear the grounds on which interview has decided that the defendant is guilty.
For starters, the defendant's case is bananas. B-A-N-A-N-A-S.
I've known that woman for years. She'd never be an accomplice to anything. We're asking you, not your newspaper.
Is that a nonsense to think those two would ever be conniving with one another?
Oh dear, this is most troubling. But surely the waxwork the man stole has nothing to do with the coroner, is it? I've had my own problems with members of the police. I do not trust them much. What does that have to do with this?
I've seen no rigorous proof that this waxwork was ever inside this birdcage. It's conjecture.
How do you explain the lost hat? Okay.
There's no enough right evidence. It's not a proper job, is he? I won't have it.
Somewhat unsurprisingly, it seems the introduction of this waxwork monster proceedings has polarized opinion.
Given that its face is obscured and its build in no way resembles that of the victim. How about you just remove the thing around its head? I can only applaud my learned friend's temerity as suggesting it as Mr. What? Man's body double. Yes, the applause is deafening. And yes, I know it seems extraordinary. But that's the point. That's why I have a strong feeling it's actually a greater clue than anyone yet realizes. In fact, I'm pretty sure Mr. Drebber got the idea by smoking a crap load of opium. What are you thinking, Mr. Naruhodo? I can't explain why at the moment. But I feel as though there's a specific reason why it was used. Why it had to be this model. Really? A reason why nothing else would do, you mean? Yes, and I'm convinced. It's something far more significant than whether or not the model looked like him. Well, if that's the case, we must prevent the trial from ending prematurely, at all costs. Yes, agreed. I have to find a way out of this.
Very counsel, you may proceed with the summation examination.
Yes, my lord. Spins around and attacks Drebber with the sword. Also, I'm surprised they're not doing the whole jury thing in order. They usually do this from jury 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here it's 6, then 1, 2, so on and so forth.
Hold it!
The order of things seems to have changed around here for some reason. I'm a copper, lad. It's a copper's discretion to bend the rules sometimes. Okay, as an American who's in a very, very, very corrupt police system, especially, like, very corrupt towards people who aren't white and male and cisgender or straight, this whole "it's a copper's discretion to bend the rules sometimes" feels very, very... What's wrong with that? A lot of things. Where do I start? Thank you. I've been working at the yard for 40 odd years. Was there anything about don't wave your gun? That's even more than I thought. We've only had a metropolitan police service in town for 70 years, you know. Of course, times have changed. Public didn't trust coppers back when I started. It was rough. We had to fight crime, and we had to fight to win the public's trust as well. And when we did. And then you... I feel like that victory is just a bunch of lies. Like, especially with the current system in the States, anyway. And most likely worldwide. Forensic science was in its infancy, too. Even more than it is now. And she spearheaded the revolution. Dr. Scythe, you mean? That's right. About 10 years ago now, it was. When I was still a youngish bobby on the bait. That's when she started making a name for herself as a top-class coroner. And now look at her. Head of the forensic team. And a woman, no less. Well, you won't hear me complain. That's what we all dreamt of back then, I tell you. Could you tell me without holding that gun? Thank you. We're all out to uphold justice, lad. Full of vim, we were. Full of vim.
You shot holes in my ceiling.
That's coming across loud and clear.
Hold it!
We're only just starting to understand this case. Permission to throw the waxwork's head at him, Your Honor. What are you reading there?
The man behind those murders on Solar Spawn Street was caught in 2 days flat. That's real policing for ya.
It's really not relevant to this case, is it?
You're on there. Because it was Dr. Scythe in charge of examining the bodies. And it was evidence arising from her work that led to the arrest of the scoundrel responsible.
Oh.
That's right. Ow! That woman is at the forefront of this country's fight against crime. The idea that she'd somehow be involved in this murky business is a load of old tosh.
I thought it was up to me to press the jurors, not the other way around.
Hold it!
Why would you assume that? Well, quite simply because that unsettling swindler has no relationship with the woman, does he? True. As it stands, we don't know of any connection. Oh wait, okay, now I'm curious. 35. Oh, she's old. Oh man, Drebber did not age well. Oh gosh, but it would be delightfully romantic if they were somehow to have a mutual interest in the waxwork. A threesome with the waxwork? Romantic. A woman of society such as myself views everything in terms of relationships, you know? Oh, she's it's like, I ship everything! Well, learn something new every day. Even if you don't want to. One might wonder about a possible relationship between the defendant and his coroner woman. Or perhaps between the defendant and the handsome prosecutor just there! She knows! This woman. Maybe more astute than I've been giving her credit for. Are you... Okay, part of me is thinking like, is he thinking like, oh crap, is she onto me? If that's the woman's stance, then perhaps demonstrating some connection between the waxwork and Dr. Scythe would be enough. Yes, I agree. As soon as we have even a whiff of a connection, she'll be the first to know.
Hold it!
What sort of problems? Let's just say we have run into each other on numerous occasions while I've been performing on the street. Right, I see. Obviously, artists such as myself cannot appear on stage as we work in close proximity to our audiences. So we perform our great magic in parks, on street corners, and the like. But the police use any excuse to make our... I mean, he's not wrong!
Excuse me!
Do you have something to say in response to that, Mr. Ottermole? Ottermole? What are you calling a mass murderer? No. I got confused because I heard you look like him.
Don't look at anything like the man. You want to be locked up, Sonny?
Thanks, Mr. Sholmes. Oh yeah, Ottermole was one of the wax figures. Perhaps we could move on? I was really wondering if you had something you wanted to add in response to what juror number 3 said. Please stop spinning your gun. I don't know if it's gonna go off or you drop it and it goes off. And clearly you do.
Back in my day. Back in the good old days.
Put the goddamn gun away!
It wasn't like this.
What was it like, sir?
We worked our fingers to the bone to earn the public's trust, we did. And by Jove, we earned it. People respected us back then.
Was it respect or fear?
Respected you? No one would have called a coroner into question in them days. A coroner's report was a hallmark of an investigation done right. Especially when Dr. Courtney Stevens put her name to it.
Courtney Steve?
She was the best of the best! And the apple of...
Wait. What are you talking about? Who's Courtney Stevens?
Sorry. Got a bit carried away there.
Stevens is Dr. Scythe's maid. Enoch Drebber's a fake name, isn't it? Her maiden name. That was before she was married.
Of course, yes. Silly me. It's Scythe now, isn't it?
Stevens. I'm sure I've seen that name somewhere recently. Wait a minute. I feel like I have too, but I can't remember where.
Oh! Anyway, the point is, those were the great days of policing. Not like now.
Sorry to interrupt, sir.
But, do you think you could change your statement to include that name? Well, yeah. I don't think why not.
She's Courtney Stevens. Wait.
Hold it!
But you claimed the whole instant kinesis demonstration was a trick.
Sure I did, but there's more than one way to pull a rabbit out of a hat, is there?
Sorry?
I grant you, given that this cage appeared from amidst the explosion, there'd have been no need to use a real person. But if a waxwork had been used, Copper could have at least used the decency to make it look like the victim.
I'm not sure exactly how much criminals are governed by decency. Also, now I think about it, it's sort of weird, but would the waxwork, like, assuming the waxwork was involved in an explosion of sorts, assuming the explosion involved heat, wouldn't the waxwork melt? Unless it's some sort of special wax that can only melt if we make it hit, like, lava terms of heat.
Porch, if you're going to make a claim about that waxwork being inside the birdcage, you need to give us some evidence. Without that, it's not just science.
I suppose we could expect nothing less than a logical argument from a fellow of the Royal Society. But that perhaps means his mind could be changed if we manage to present suitable evidence. Evidence that the Professor Waxwork was inside that birdcage. Can I produce that or not?
The fact that it's just a head? I'll come back to this. Because I'm thinking I should press them all and then take from there. Yeah, remember some time.
I want you abundantly clear before that brassy proclamation, I assure you.
And why you can count on the fact that I shan't be changing my leaning. Oh dear. That proclamation was even brassier than yours, Mr. Naruto. If only we had some evidence. Things might be different, though. Corn!
Hold it!
I've got to ask. Why do you have corn in here? Colonel Cobb, he's been growing back on the farm. Picked him off me way into town. He's a proper nibbler, he is. Wait, you named your corn? How many Colonel Cobbs do you have? Yes, the nibbling seems to be taking quite a while. Maybe you can wait till after the trial? Oh, I don't like the sound of that. You need colonels at times like this. Whenever I'm so much bitch aside, the colonels always point me in the right direction, see? To the old man? To the old officer? You're talking about your cob of corn?
Guilty! Not guilty. Oh, guilty. Not guilty.
Oh, it's like one of those he loves me not things, but instead of a flower, it's corn. Perhaps it's akin to fortune telling with flower. Oh yeah! Susato, you know, we're on the same wavelength. So Professor Hairbrain's fate is to be decided by a cob of corn. Could you not at least wait until we've had more time to find the truth before deciding?
Oh, I don't know about that.
Your Tom's all full already. Then why do you keep eating? Amazing. That was a very corny pun. I know it seems a little far-fetched to think that the waxwork model of the professor was in that birdcage. But on the other hand, it explains a lot. There really is a reason why that particular waxwork had to be used. We must do everything we can to make the jurors understand it. Truth is, I'm sure that the key to this, that's the key, but it's the most puzzling part. In that case, you should see what additional information can glean while trying to change their minds. If you can read a book whilst eating a rice cracker, Mr. Naruto, I'm sure you can do this. Right. Yeah. I wonder if she's a romance novelist. Like, maybe she won't say it out loud, but maybe on the side she writes. Also... Hold up. Can I examine the head now? I mean, the fact the head was torn off, wouldn't that be evidence that it was involved? Or, wait. Wait. Oh, right, wait, is it in the description? Small fragments found in the clothing of the waxwork. It would appear from the... Yes! Please be it!
Hold it!
Please. Actually, I have something I'd like you to say, sir.
Oh? I must warn you that I firmly believe it's only wise to trust men in white coats.
You're in a black coat, though.
So give me your jet black outfit. I don't mind admitting to a sense of trepidation here.
You're wearing black, too! So you don't trust anyone in black. Look at her, you're trying. Please.
Take that!
Yay!
What's that? A piece of glass? It was unusually thick.
But the deuces is a piece of broken glass that we found inside the jacket on the waxwork. As you say, it's not ordinary glass, though. It's very thick, and clearly made for extra strength. Much like the special glass that was developed for the construction of the Crystal Tower.
Crystal Tower?
Exactly. The centerpiece of the Great Exhibition, where the very incident we're talking about took place. On the day in question, the birdcage fell from above and smashed through a window of that special glass.
I have a photo too with the glass. From which a small piece originates, right? Precisely. So, what do you say? Not that clear evidence in support of this assertion.
Well, as I said, I only trust men in white coats as a rule. However, when the reasoning is sound, it's fair to say color shouldn't come into it. In light of what you've shown me here, yes, I feel obliged to change my position on the matter. In that case, juror number 4, you will amend your statement now, please.
To what?
Hold it!
I have another thing! Thank you for reconsidering your position, sir.
Your words are misplaced, boy. My opinion is governed by logic and science and nothing else. Yes, science is where you should direct your words of gratitude.
He looks at me, and I look at him.
What's the matter with you? Too good to say some words of thanks to the mother of all academic subjects?
You? What is it about scientists? Honestly. Wait, wrong button.
This seems a little far-fetched to think that the wax... Wait. Okay, I already got to this.
I have an idea. Not sure if it'll work. Yes! Those two statements clearly contradict each other.
Good gracious, do which statements you prefer, counsel?
Juror number 2. Oh gosh, me? What can I do for you? I presume that you heard what juror number 6 said in his statement. It's brought to light the maiden name of the coroner, Dr. Scythe, which in turn has revealed a connection that wasn't apparent before. Well, naturally, as a woman of society, I find such connections and relationships irresistible. But oh golly, I'm afraid I failed to see what you mean. Dr. Scythe's maiden name is Stevens, and through that name, the coroner is very definitely linked to the waxwork of the killer. The defense has evidence to prove it. My goodness, evidence you say? How utterly enthralling. I must write about this on AO3!
Counsel, the court cannot overlook that last remark. I very much hope there is substance in your claim.
Heck yeah, there is. I would ask the court to look at this. Just make sure this is the right one.
Take that!
I have here a certain autopsy report from 10 years ago.
Turn your own autopsy report. What evidence does that have?
It is, of course, from the autopsy of the person portrayed in the waxwork. The killer known as the Professor.
The Professor's? But the man was a capital offender, so...
That's right. This is a certification of death that was drawn up after the convict execution. The identity of the killer was never made public, so the report gives very few details. But what's important is the name of the coroner who wrote it. Courtney Stevens. Oh my, Courtney Stevens?
Strike a light!
It appears that the professor's autopsy was conducted by Dr. Scythe 10 years ago. And a few days ago, Mr. Drebber very deliberately stole the waxwork of the professor from Madame Tuspel's. A waxwork that doesn't in fact resemble the victim, Mr. Cake Man at all. And do you suppose there's some unsavory relationship between those events? Absolutely, I'm sure of it. There's no doubt in my mind the Professor case is at the heart of a link that we have yet to uncover. Between Dr. Courtney Scythe and Mr. Enoch Drebber.
Hidden links. Mysterious connections? Secret relationships? This is all most extraordinary. Ooh! We're surely obliged now to explore this further.
I was kind of hoping this. I was wondering if she was gonna swoon, like, oh, all the romantic possibilities.
Quite right.
Can't let this trial come to an end now. Not while there's this cloud of suspicion hanging over the yard. Best coroner! It wasn't like this in my day! We're still here to uphold justice in the end. It's a professor, that's what makes the frightful swindler in the corridor. Oh, she looks... It's like, I need to write about this! I think... Oh, let me go back and forth and see if anything's changed, aside from... Unicorn Suspicion, not done here yet. It has to be these two, right? Because I have evidence, and this guy is saying... Like, she's saying I'm doing without evidence, but I already showed evidence. Maybe?
Objection!
Oh, thank God. Those two statements clearly contradict each other.
Good gracious! To whose statements do you refer, counsel?
If you could put down your corn for a moment, juror number 5. You mean me? You pointed out that it's wrong to make an accusation without evidence. But the accusation that the waxwork model was inside the second birdcage on the day in question is not without supporting evidence, as the defense demonstrated to the juror sitting next to you. Oh, is that right? Were you not paying attention? Would it be fair to say you didn't follow the argument? I don't understand much like Colonel Cobb, to be honest. How does one speak corn? Of course you don't. If I could interject here, please do. None of this assertion of yours about the waxwork has been backed up by some solid evidence. It would be wrong of me as a man of science not to pursue the matter further.
Oh, well, me too then.
Sorry? If the brainy gentleman says he's right, then he must be. See, I am. I wouldn't dream of going against Colonel Cobb or anyone who's got stubborn between the ears. Success, if you can call it that. Corn for everyone!
Thank you, counsel, that will do. As a result of the summation examination, the jury's overall leaning has changed. 2 jurors now called guilty, against 4 who called not guilty. Accordingly, the court has failed to reach a consensus at the time. And the trial must continue.
We did it!
Oh, well done, Mr. Naruhodo. Another wonderful victory.
Isn't this the part where Van Zeeks kicks in?
A waxwork of the despicable professor. He was a body double for the victim in this quite extraordinary case. I must say it's extremely hard to believe the assertion could possibly be true. However, it would appear that it does at least warrant further investigation.
It's the waxwork of the professor that links Mr. Drebber and Dr. Scythe. And I'm convinced that there's a special significance to that link. I don't know what you're hoping to prove, lad. I really don't.
The truth, sir. By using evidence and testimony.
If the court is to delve deeper into the alleged involvement of the waxwork in this case, then the prosecution calls for the owner of the model to be summoned as a witness. Oh, Madame Tuspels!
Your Honor?
Madame Tuspels. I really thought
Lord Van Zieks would object to this whole line of inquiry. My best guess is that he's playing along either to A, get to the truth himself, or B, it's the whole, you want to see this ridiculousness through? Fine, bring this lady in and we'll prove just how bullshit your argument is.
Very well, I concur. Make arrangements for Madame Touchspells to appear as a witness with immediate effect.
Listen carefully, my learned friend.
Yes?
You should know that you're on the brink of opening Pandora's box.
The court's now adjourned for 45 minutes. During that time, the prosecution will summon a new witness and prepare her for taking the stand.
Courtney, wait, shouldn't it be plural since I'm calling Courtney Scythe and he's calling Madame Touchspells?
Madame Touchspells, yes. I shall see to it at once, my lord.
What about Courtney Scythe? Aren't you gonna bring her in too?